Hi, I'm Donna, and this is Nick, and we are Midlife Unfiltered. Today's podcast, we are going to be talking about friendships in our midlife. In your 40s and your 50s, we want to talk about how important it is to have friends in this stage of our life. How important is it to maybe not have some friends in our lives for just our own peace and our own, self worth.
Yeah.
And we'll probably talk about friends that maybe are more of an acquaintance, but you can get information from them.
Yeah.
People that you meet that you need for this time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But
It does.
we'll make it make sense.
Yeah, no, it absolutely makes I have people who I was friends with and we've kind of like strayed away, but we're kind of more acquaintances now, but I would still go to them for something because the trust is still there.
Right, right. And, at that time when you were friends with them, it was probably for something related that you all
Yeah.
needed that bond
Yeah.
and not that falling out of friendship or maybe not being as close is a bad thing. It just wasn't maybe tight enough to keep you going.
Right. Well, for me, I got married and I moved clear across the country. So that kind of put a damper in things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
kind
it
of didn't
it,
help.
it happens. It happens. But like let's talk about our friends now. Like our the friends that we have now.
Okay.
Maybe we could talk about why we have these friends in our lives.
Love it.
Why did they come around? I remember like when I was younger, I think it was my mom or someone said, You're not making friends when you get older." You know what? I don't want to say she's wrong because that's a terrible thing to say, but she's kind of wrong. I am able to make friends in different stages.
No, you definitely are, and I mean, like we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks on the podcast page here on our social medias, we're in midlife and it's a season, and it's okay to grow out. We're calling it a season. So during the season, you have friendships now, but then in your next season of life, whatever that is, you might not have that friendship, and you're going to have somebody else. And it's not that either one of you done anything bad; it's just the season.
Right. And it could be for any reason, like
Yeah,
maybe you have children in common, or, maybe you belong to the same type of clubs or you have same activities. I mean, it could be, obviously, it could just be really
yeah.
anything. So, with that being said, how do we know when these people do become good friends or do they just become acquaintances?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think so. This is what I do. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, and you've known me long enough to know that I'm very cautious. I'm very apprehensive. And when I feel that I trust you enough and I can start giving you information and I know that you're protecting me with the information I'm giving you, then I would say we're friends. But if we're ever at a point where I can't fully trust you, then you're just an acquaintance to me.
Yes.
To me, I'm all about trust. And I hate to say this, but for me, if you break that trust, you're gone. That's me. So for me, a friendship is somebody that I can trust my heart with.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I have to be able to trust you with my heart. If I can't trust you with my heart, then you're just an acquaintance. And it doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It doesn't mean It just means that it's just not meant to be. And that's okay. That's completely fine.
Do you think that things that happen to you, or do you, not you, but maybe a lot of different people, do you think that things that happen in our lives bring us to this point of trust, of who you think you can connect with?
Yeah.
Not so much like, I don't know if I need to tell someone like my lifelong secrets, but just someone to talk to.
Yeah.
But how does it come to that point? Like, is it what we've learned throughout our years of making friends on and off, on and off?
I would say, yeah. I would say depending on like your whatever your childhood was up to where you're at now, however, whatever was the cards were dealt with you, I think really to say would say that who you trust and who you don't trust and where you go from there. That is me. I always wanted to have a lot of friends growing up, and now that I'm in my midlife, and I think I said this the other day, I can literally count everybody on one hand. Maybe one and a half will be nice. But yeah.
And you know what? And I was going to your point, I was going to say that in my life, I've
Uh-huh.
always had lots of friends.
Okay.
I mean, lots. Like, I was everybody's friend, but I was nobody's best friend, if that
So
makes any sense.
you had a lot of friends, okay? But
Mhm.
out of those lot of friends, how many of them could you trust your heart with.
Still my OG 2nd grade best friend that I still have to this day. She's
Yes.
probably the only one I could trust with my heart because of the fact that the people that have been in my life,
Mhm.
I couldn't trust or
Yeah.
didn't trust or
Yeah.
didn't want to trust.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I met a lot of people in different, so many different ways. You meet them through school and college
Yeah.
and all of your work life and then your home life and your kids' school.
Yeah.
And you know who you can trust and who you can't trust.
Yeah. No, very valid. Very true.
Yeah.
It's a hard, yeah. It's true. It's true. When I think back and I'm like, okay, was this person really my friend? And I'm like, no, no, they weren't. They weren't.
Yeah,
And I always say this to my kids, the phone goes both ways. You
exactly.
don't have to continually be calling this person. If you have to continually be calling this person to reach out, then it's one-sided and just drop it. And that's another way I would look at it is if you're the one doing all the work, then it's not worth it. It'll suck and it's painful. Been there, done that. Got the certificate to go with it, but it's worth
Yeah.
it. It's worth it. In the end, it's worth it. You'll have peace. It's hard to begin with, but then the peace comes, and you're like, okay, I made the right decision.
Yeah, true. I mean, I went through a phase in my life where I did believe you really couldn't make friends when you got older.
Mhm.
And then I did make a friend, and we were friends for like 10 years. Like, that's a long time. A
That
long,
is,
vacations and summers and doing, a lot together.
yeah,
And then for it to like crumble, it's upsetting.
yeah,
And I think at my age, I don't think there was who was right and who was wrong.
yeah.
I think maybe it was just time to fizzle out because I wouldn't want to ever say anything bad about the person. But to that point, I will say, when I needed her, she
Yeah.
wasn't there. And that's
I
your
think I
telltale
know. I
sign.
think I remember you telling me this. Yes.
That's your telltale sign right there.
No, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, it's true. And even, when I married my husband, I came from the West Coast of Washington State and I moved all the way to Maryland and in my 20s. And I obviously had no kids. I knew nobody here but my husband and the man and his wife that were in our wedding. That is all I knew. And I was like, how am I going to make friends? And it was hard. And people who I thought were my friends that I had met throughout the years of being here turned out to be they were never our friends. They were never our friends. They never were. They never were. It sucked. I was very bitter. I won't lie to you. I was very angry and I was very bitter. But I was like, you know what? That's their loss. That's their loss. And I don't really care. And I have moved on and I have amazing friends now, not just you guys. I mean, people that live around me. I have amazing
Yes.
friends now. And when I tell them what happened and how I moved here and I knew nobody, they're just like, really? Really? I was like, yeah, really. I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought people were very rude here because when I moved here, I'm like, nobody wanted to be. And they're like, no, just a bad batch. So it's all about, midlife and who you mesh with and who are this and who are that. And so now I always try when I meet somebody new and they tell me they've just moved here or this or that, I really try my best to befriend them just so that they feel welcomed. So, because it's hard, especially when you move thousands of miles away from everything you've ever known and then there's nobody. So
Yeah,
I yeah,
get
I
that.
would say now that I'm in my 40s, honestly, because we're talking about midlife, I would say I have made more friends in my 40s than I have in my 20s and 30s when I lived here. I would say in my 40s, I have made more friends now than I did in the last 20 years.
So here's a question for you. I have lots of stories like swirling in my head while as we
Mhm.
speak. So has it come down to a fact that maybe now in your life it's easier because of the ages of your kids or because of maybe your work life balance? Like, do you think that makes it a little bit easier?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of these people that I have met are close to my age, but they had children way later in life. So we're similar, the same age. I'm older by just a few years, but their kids are a lot younger. So they'll go to me, they look to me, they're like, oh my gosh, your kids. And I'm always just like, just soak it up, just soak it up. And so even though the age difference is a little bit off, I feel more connected to them than I did to other people that I was friends with that had kids who were older than me, that had kids that were older than my kids,
Mhm.
or slightly, not by a few years, or maybe slightly younger than my kids.
But I think that's with maturity.
Yes.
And I think that it is also with you have to get knocked down a couple times,
Yeah.
and then you realize, okay, maybe this isn't the way I want my quote unquote friendships to go.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that you were just saying the maturity. I actually trust these people a lot more with my heart than I did the other people. A lot more. Like, I've told them things that I never told the other people,
Right.
ever, ever. Like, these people have no idea. They know nothing. And that tells you something. Like, I never, ever told them anything because I just never felt full. I couldn't do it.
You have
It
the
wasn't there.
comfort level.
No, it was completely different comfort level.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, and I truly believe in like we tell our kids, with maturity and with age, we learn more, we take more in,
Hmm.
and then you learn from your mistakes, which we always say also.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, I know that I've had many different stages of my life because of kids being in school. And
Mhm.
I felt that I was so excited and I felt like I was going to make mom friends
Yeah.
and that was it. And then that became a flop because all of those mom friends in my oldest kindergarten class, they were
Mhm.
all friends with each other already.
Okay, so for me, definitely the same, but the problem was, and it wasn't everybody that I'm about to say this to. There were a
Yes.
few that I was friends with, and then we just kind of, went our separate ways because they moved away and whatnot. But no, they really did move away. They moved your direction. Some of them were just didn't, I'm trying to say this in a way so people don't get mad. They didn't like myself or my children because they were mixed. So they were the people that they would flat out say, "Oh, you can't come to our house because you're black."
Come on now.
That they no, they would say that, and I knew that they got it from the parents. So right then and there, I'm like, Not happening." And I knew when they would have parties. One time I was at my son's, was he in first kindergarten or first grade? I want to say first grade. And one of the moms had said the other mom, we were going to, I think, a field trip or something, and she said, "Oh yeah, everybody that I invited their class, the entire class came, blah blah blah." And she turned around and saw me, and it was like deer in headlights, and she's like, "Oh crap." I'm like, "Yeah, honey. Yeah, you can go ahead and lie. It's okay." And I mean, and her kid was one of them that actually said you couldn't come to my house because of that. So I
That's
didn't really
terrible.
have mom friends for my kids' age. My kids had friends. But when that started happening, the guard went up. And I was like, I don't need you in my life. I don't really care. So I can't say I really had a lot of mom friends. I did have some who to this day love my children to pieces. I had one that lives right up the road from me. Her kids are literally my kids' age, minus the youngest because he was the surprise. But the older three and her three were literally, they are the same age. And so we've always done everything together. First one started kindergarten, mine started kindergarten. So for the first three of our children, because we're just going to get rid of my youngest, we've always done everything together. Literally, it's like, oh, he's driving. Oh, she's driving. She got this. And so we've always done everything together. So I would say if I had a mom friend to compare, it would be her because we've done it. We did it. Literally,
We
we did
did it.
everything together. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
no, I thought that, starting school was gonna be the best thing.
Yeah.
And yes, again, back to the fact I had friends,
Hmm.
but, I didn't get invited to the Friday night outs and,
Yeah.
let's get together and, that type of thing because I don't know, I was in the wrong group somewhere. So, in
Wish we
turn
had lived close by. I
I
mean, our
know,
kids
right?
kind of would have been mean. Well, maybe one.
In turn, what does Donna do? I join a woman's club. Of course
There
I
we go.
do, because I wanna make friends. I want
Yeah, I
friends.
know.
And I had a ton of friends with the women's club.
Love
And
it.
did so much, had so much fun, but knew in my heart of hearts they
Yeah.
weren't my friends.
Yeah. They're what you call acquaintances. And again,
They were a little more than acquaintances,
okay.
and a lot of them, like, if I picked up the phone right now and said that I needed them, like, there's 2 women that if literally I picked up the phone right now, they would be at my door, and maybe I haven't talked to them in a year.
There we go.
They're amazing people. They're amazing people, like, in their hearts, like, that
Yeah.
type of people.
I have a friend that way, yeah. I could call her right now if I said I broke down, she'd be like, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, yeah,
Literally,
like,
she's like, "Where are you at?" The older ones can watch the little ones, I'm on my way.
Like, there's those people in life that are just like little angels on earth, and it's not that you're not their friend, you are
Mhm.
their friend, but these people help out so many people,
Yeah.
they're always busy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is
Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I have one neighbor and we're close, but obviously she works corporate. I work from home. They have 3 kids younger than my kids, which is fine. But when she moved in May, and then in September, her kids were starting school, she literally says, "Hey, can I go ahead and put your name on the emergency contact list?" I'm like, "Sure, go right ahead.
Okay.
Don't bother me." And that right there was because she trusted, like, because we had been around
Mhm.
long, that few months, so she felt comfortable and her kids felt comfortable that she could go ahead and throw me on the emergency contact list, and I've been used a few times
Yeah,
I've had to go. But no, yeah, no, it's hard. Like
it is.
she was even telling me it's hard. She's got 4 kids, and even with her, she's like, "It's hard. It's hard, but they make it work."
Yeah, yeah, and I think I needed that group of ladies. I needed that to happen.
Yeah.
I needed to have all those good times and crazy times and going out and having fun
Yeah.
and laughing. I needed to have that,
Mhm.
but when it was over with, I was sad,
Yeah.
but I was okay with it. I don't know if that makes any
Yeah,
sense. Like,
no, it does. It's sad when it first happens, and you have to just let it run its course, and then you become peace. You have peace with it because for whatever reason, where however it broke up, whatever it just I won't even say broke up, that's not a good word. Seasoned, the seasoning just went away. The season of life just moved on. It kind of sucks, but I think it's better if it just gradually dwindles than versus being the door slammed in your face.
and here's an example of that. I think we got to a point in our kids' ages that
Yeah.
different things were happening. And, I had a special needs child.
Uh-huh.
Nobody else really did, and nobody else really understood it. So, not that they didn't understand it. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, well, different meetings and different things that
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I
Yeah, I
need to
understand what you're saying,
be around for him or whatever. And as like, as my babysitting options got smaller and smaller,
yeah.
I had to be here more
Yeah, no, I get it.
my
Yeah, no.
child, so hopefully, but
No,
but it
yeah.
changes. So they're having, 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds that can stay home by themselves where I couldn't.
You couldn't do it, yeah.
Yeah, so things just change, and that's how we say a different reason, a different season. It's not a
Yeah.
bad thing.
No.
If I see someone or I text someone, we could pick up where we left off. They're that type of friends. They're very nice people. It didn't mesh well.
Yeah, no, I think, like, for me, my childhood best friend I've known since I was 2 or 3. She now lives in Georgia, right? And I haven't seen her in years, and it's just part of life. She's just very busy. She's a mom, she's got kids, a business. Her kids are barrel racers, so, they're gone constantly all the time. And I live here, but we could pick up literally like it was yesterday and talk like we see each other every single day or something. And her husband thinks it's the funniest thing on the planet. He's just like, "I don't get it." I'm like, "I don't know how to explain it to you." Like, literally, I could be like, "Remember when this?" And then we'd be spend
Yeah,
hours,
yeah.
hours. And her kids think we're hysterical. But I think if you have a friend like that where you can literally pick up the phone and say, "I know we live 5 states away, and I haven't seen you in probably 5 years, no fault of anybody's," and you can pick up like you literally just dropped them off 2 days ago at their front door. I think that right there is a precious friendship that you wanna hold for the rest of your life.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. If anybody's listening and you want to ask us a question, please feel
Yeah.
free. We don't claim to know everything or anything.
Yeah.
It's just our opinion. But if you'd like to leave a message, that's fine. If you want to send us an email, if you want us to expand on this topic, because we will,
Mhm.
we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
We are going to do a topic where we talk about friends from growing up,
Yeah.
because that's a big thing too. Elementary school, high school, your neighborhood. Me and Nick lead very different lives when we were
Yeah.
younger, so we'll have
Yeah.
very different stories to
Yep.
tell.
Very different. And you and I didn't meet until a couple of years ago, and now look where we are. I mean, I sit there and I think back, if I had known Donna 5 years ago, would we probably still be friends? I'm like, Probably, I don't know. I don't know because I was doing something the other day when I was making one of my videos to put on social media, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I had met her 10 years, because I think I was talking about people that you knew 10 years ago, would you still be friends with them are you still friends with them today? And then it was people that you've met within the last year or two. If you had met them 10 years ago, would you be friends? And I was like, I don't know.
I don't
I don't know.
I don't know either because I don't know if, like, what we do and,
Yeah.
people here on this podcast, me and Nick also have a page on TikTok where we
Mhm.
go live. We're
Yep.
going live almost every night. And, if my husband was alive, I don't know if I could go live as much as we would.
Yeah.
And maybe we wouldn't have had that connection.
That or he'd be like, "Are you talking to her again? Are you talking to her again? Are you talking to her again?" Just like your son. "Are you talking to her again? But you just saw her." "Yeah, well, we have to talk again."
Yeah. I
And mine
mean,
just goes upstairs and he just leaves me. Like, literally, I was grabbing everything to come downstairs. He just looked at me, shook his head, and walked away.
yeah. And you know what? Me and Matt would watch TV together.
Yeah.
Like we had this whole thing that, we ate dinner as a family and, you
Yeah.
know, on the weekends, we would do something, so even if it was just food shopping or something as
Yeah.
little as that, it was something.
Mine's not allowed
So
to go food shopping with me.
so
Absolutely
it
not.
oh, he loved to food
My
shop.
budget would be out the door 10 times if I brought him with me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He loved to food shop, but his dad loved to food shop, so I think that's
He's
where it
not
was.
allowed. He's not allowed.
So,
No.
yes, it probably would have been different. It probably would
Yeah.
have been.
So I'm glad that we didn't actually meet 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I'm glad we met now.
Yes, and when we go off, I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
Lord have mercy. I'm scared.
No, 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 nothing to be
Okay.
scared about. So, yeah, so we do wanna talk about this again.
Yeah.
I think the next step is we'll expand on, our younger versions of friends,
Yeah.
how life changed then. How does
Yeah.
life change then? And do you still have them as friends? And I'll tell stories. I have a couple
And
stories.
watching our kids go through their friendships, we'll definitely talk about that. I'm not going to elaborate onto that, but yeah, we'll say what I want to say right now for the other podcasts. But
Yes,
absolutely,
same.
we could talk about even watching our kids go through their season of friendships and having them make the choices whether or not they want to still be friends with these said people or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a good series,
Yeah.
and we hope that you hang around for it because we will build off of this.
Yep.
And like we said, we would love your questions or your comments. And, we could read them offline and talk about it, or we can, talk about it in our next segment because we
Yeah.
love feedback.
Yep. And just remember that a true friend will never speak illy behind your back. They will always want to encourage you and to support you every step of the way. And if they're talking behind your back and saying things to bring you down in your self worth, they're not somebody that you need to have in your life because they're not worth it.
Exactly. Exactly. I think they do that to make themselves look better or feel
They
better.
do.
And,
They do.
it shouldn't happen under our expense.
No, it really shouldn't. So I can't talk about you anymore. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. All right, y'all. So, yeah, we're going to do another podcast still on friendship. Probably next time will be about our earlier lives. And then from there, we'll go on our little itty bitty lives. And then maybe we'll do another one on watching our kids go through their seasons of friendship and what advice we have given. I have 4 kids. So, me giving my 4 kids their advice is all of them are different. All of my kids are different, so watching them go through their seasons of life with their friends and giving them advice is all different from the other person
Hmm.
because different personalities, different
Yeah.
friends,
Different friends.
different friends, different personalities. So, perfect.
But thanks for listening, everybody. And we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.